Because it's almost time for our first speaker. So our first speaker is the founder of Easy Dutch and is an international speaker. His passport says he's German, but he considers himself a world citizen. He's been traveling full-time for 11 years, and he has been an employee and been broke. But since 2014, he is a location-independent entrepreneur and author. He has a tourism background, but he built his business around teaching German language. So if you guys want to learn German, he's your guy. He started selling his time as a German teacher for $10 per hour, and transformed it within 3 years into a passive income stream that earns him six-figure income per year now and allows him to travel the world and live wherever he wants to live. With his speech, The Passive Income Mindset, he will show you how to disconnect your income from your time. It doesn't matter if you're an employee or you're a business owner or if you have your own business. Everyone, please send clap emojis if you can find it for your speaker, the amazing Jan Richter. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Leanne. It's
awesome to be seeing you again. I think the last time I see you was in Manila, so awesome virtually seeing you. Okay, so Jan, as Fabio will say, you are now free.
Okay. I can see, I can't really share the full screen presentation, so I will just make this like an almost full screen. So, yeah. Okay, so let's not lose time. My name is Jan, correctly pronounced Jan Richter, and I am the founder of Easy Deutsch. Just at the beginning, passive income in the Philippines often is connected to MLM and investments. I'm not going to sell you anything. It's about the mindset. So how you have to think in order to create passive income, no matter at which stage of income or life you are at the moment. So Leanne introduced me already. My passport says I'm German, so I'm born German, but I don't live there for over 11 years. Usually I live in the Philippines since 3 years, first Manila, then Cebu, and when I'm allowed back in, probably Siargao. And I have tourism background, worked in hotels or on car rentals and as a sales representative. But now I earn my money as a German teacher, but not the traditional one. I teach it on YouTube and in books and ebooks that I wrote myself that earns me 100% passive income. And you can probably guess it. I love to travel and meet new cultures, make new friends. And I also love to help people. So today is about passive income. Don't wonder that I skipped the slides that are questions, because this presentation is made for 40 minutes. So I have to cut it down a little bit. So passive income usually has 4 stages. And believe it or not, you had passive income already once in your life at stage 1. Stage 1 was the how I call it, careless stage. And that's the bad passive income, because your mommy or your daddy's social welfare are the source of your income. It's fully passive, but it comes with many restrictions and often humiliation. So that's actually the passive income we don't really want to have. So second stage, that's probably where most people get stuck at, is the wage slave stage. So all employees, but also, and that's important, business owners who still sell their time or have to be present in their company every day. There you have probably, you earn more because you have more responsibility and you can decide way more and you earn more, but it's not passive at all if you have to go to your company, to your office every single day in the morning. So that's one way, but I have at the moment stage 3. That's location and time independence. That means your income is completely disconnected from the hours you work. You have to work, but it's more for maintenance, development, or creating new sales, new automation. So everything is a little bit in the background of the business. That's what you still have to do, but it doesn't really matter if you don't work this week or even this month. Money keeps coming in, whether you do something or not, because you just automated things and it's coming in, and then you have location and time independence. Time independence comes with the automated sales, and location independence if you really don't have to go to your office at all, so if it's all online. And stage 4, that's the real passive income. So stage 3 is already really nice, but stage 4, that's what is the dream for most of the people, because it means you don't work at all anymore. Money just keeps coming in. And why is that? Because money creates more money. You can probably believe that, because in the moment you have $1 million, it's a way easier to get your second million, but it's very hard to earn your first million. But if you have this first million, it's easy to get more money. And it always means that your presence in the company is not required at all. And other people do everything you don't want to do yourself. That's the real passive income. So maybe you can comment in which stage you are at the moment, and I will talk about how you can create passive income. There are several different ways, 3 main ways. So the first way is you can marry up. That's one of the easiest way. You just marry a rich man or woman, and immediately you have passive income because your better half pays for everything. If you are already rich, then it's also easy. You simply buy real estate or invest it in good stocks. Done. You have passive income. You don't have to do anything, and you get the money into your account. But today I want to talk about the third way, which is probably the way for most of you. It's skill and scale up. So let's have a look at this. Why should we skill up? Well, how did you leave stage 1, the careless stage, when your mom and your dad paid for everything? Right, you went to school, and that means you skilled up. You learned something. You learned how to be independent. You learned a profession. That's nothing else than to skill up, and that's how you left stage 1. So why should you stop to skill up right now? That's always the most important thing to do in your whole life. And you can also comment, what do you think? What's the most important skill? Because I will talk about one which is, in my opinion, the very most important skill. If you want to pick one, always pick sales. Why sales? Well, simply, you have to sell something all the time, 24/7, even if you don't have a product or whatsoever. Usually, if you go to an appointment, or better, an interview for a new job, what do you have to do? You have to sell yourself. So if you know how to sell a product, you know how to sell it yourself, you know how to sell your idea. And if you learned the first 2, it's easy for you to sell your product. So if you want to pick one skill in order to reach passive income, it is sales, because you can also easily scale this and automate it. Because if you have a product, you just get other people to sell it, pay them a commission, and you get passive income. So that's why sales is the skill you want to learn on your way to passive income. if you say yourself, sales, I hate it, I really can't do it, it's nothing for me, then you have a second option. Partner up with somebody who is good in sales. So that's in general what you always should do if you know, oh, I'm terrible at this, but it's really necessary for whatever I do. Then find somebody who's good at it and partner up with this person, because nobody can be an expert in everything. So a little short background story about me. How did I learn sales? Well, back in 2008, if you can't recognize me immediately, that's me here. I had a little more hair on top of my head and a little less hair around my mouth and chin. So that is me, still zero passive income, but you can see already, I didn't like to be in the middle of everything. I'm here at the corner. So I was not the person who is seeking attention. But in 2009, I became a sales representative for a German tour operator. That brought me to Spain. So that was really far out of my comfort zone, but I really wanted to do it. I wanted to travel. I wanted to live outside Germany. And the way to do this was selling excursions and telling people what to do on a Spanish island. I was never comfortable talking in public, but well, I wanted to travel. I wanted to see other places. So that's what I had to do. So I simply did it. I also traveled to, maybe you recognize where this is. That's Universal Studios in the US. I went to Brazil without knowing anybody in Brazil, just a girl I met online. I went there, didn't turn out well, but it was well out of my comfort zone. I kept traveling, still on zero passive income. Some of you maybe recognize Thailand and Bali. That's my brother, by the way. And at the end, this is Mexico and Guatemala, 2012, zero income. Sorry that I'm rushing through it a little bit, but I really want to make it to the end of the presentation. Venezuela, highest waterfall in the world, that's Brazil. And in Brazil, I met this girl. That's my now ex-wife. But that was back in 2013. And I wanted to stay with her in Brazil. I had zero income, not just zero passive income. There was zero income. So the next step for me was finding a job or income in Brazil. Local job was not really an option because in Brazil, you earn more or less the same amount like in the Philippines. So that for me, for $200 to $300 a month, I will not get as a European. Maybe that sounds a bit arrogant to you, but as a European, you're used to earn several thousand euros. So you're not going to get up for this. I thought, well, there must be a way to work online, way less hours, but maybe just those 200, 300 euros, but not 50 to 60 hours like I would have to work in Brazil at the hotel reception in order to earn this. So the options were online call center, teaching German online, translating, freelancing, or starting my own website and business. You can guess what I did? Everything. So I tried everything that's on this list, but I already realized the only way of really getting passive income is the last one here. That's the direct way to passive income. So what did I do? I became an expert. I became an expert in German grammar and how to earn money online, and set up 2 websites about this. So one about German grammar, that's the successful one right now, Easy Deutsch, and another one, which is unmaintained for 5 years because Easy Deutsch is making money. So that's also when I started to have my first passive income in 2014, around 100 euros per month. And I taught myself more and more German grammar because my background, you saw it, is really not German or teaching. So I first had my own students that I was still teaching live, and they were always requesting more and more material. I sent it to them via PDF. That was really unpractical, so I put it on the website, and then Google picked up, and many people asked me, "Hey, I want this as a PDF so that I can print it out." And that's when I started selling my website as a PDF, and that's when it actually started to earn more money, like 500 euros per month, because I became an expert in German and grammar. You can see my very first ebook. That's when I started. Left hand, you have the amount in euro. That's the number of sales. So that was back in 2016. It was making more or less 1,250 euro a month. That's not in this slide here because it was the second website. It still made some money. And how do you become an expert? So in general, you have to niche down. So you have to pick a very small niche. Why is it so important to niche down? Well, simply, it's a way easier sale, and you can have a way higher prices. For example, you are going to marry your perfect guy, your perfect girl, and you're looking for a photographer. There are 9 photographers that tell you, I do everything. I'm the best guy in whatever you want. Wedding, travel, they can do everything. Or there's this one photographer that says, hey, I only do weddings. I don't do anything else. I know everything about weddings. And you want this to be the photos of the best photos you can get. And is it very, would you believe that somebody can be an expert in absolutely everything? Or would you rather believe you can be an expert in this one topic and this person knows everything? We all know nobody can be an expert in everything. So most people will always go with the expert. And if they know you're an expert, they will pay you way higher prices. And you have way less competition because you're the expert in this area and the others are not. And when you want to find a topic, there's one recommendation: please don't limit yourself. Always step out of your comfort zone, and in order to find new talents, passions, ideas, perspectives, stick to positive people. Minimize the contact to people who drag you down and hold you back, because you're always the average of the 5 people you have the most contact with. That's why if you notice somebody just drags you down, well, if it's somebody of your family, you can say get rid of them, but minimize contact. And what can you do? Or can you make everything passive? Yes, even a time for money business can be made passive. How do you do it? You scale up. In general, if it's a time for money you offer, you are the bottleneck of your business. That means you have to outsource and then scale up. You only do the high income tasks yourself and outsource whatever you can. And if you sell physical or digital products, then it's easy. Simply create more products and outsource everything you don't really have to do yourself. And how do you really figure out what you do yourself? Therefore, I have to skip some numbers. They're just confirming this. There we go. If you want to know if you really have to do this yourself, you can always should use this formula. How much does it cost you to outsource everything? That's X. and how much money can you earn doing something else in the same time. And in the moment you can earn more money doing something else other than what you could outsource, then always outsource everything if you can earn more money in the same time, because otherwise you're simply losing money if you don't do it. And that's the way how you scale up, even if it's a time for money business. What can you outsource? Traditional outsourcing stuff is everything that's accounting, social media, emails. Hire and train people that earn you more money than you pay them. That's scaling up. That's how it usually works. Also, automate stuff like emails. You can do autoresponders that send automatically emails out to you, and those emails sell, and you don't have to do much about it. And also very important, diversify. That's something I learned in 2019. You can see here the sales went down because I haven't had a new product for like a year. And here I released a new product, and this is the whole income for 2019. We're in 2020 now, and not even halfway through June, and I have more already, simply because I diversified, because I not only released 3 new ebooks, I also diversified the traffic stream. So I also added YouTube, and I started selling physical books on Amazon, and that gave me 50% or like 100% income increase within 1 year only, simply by scaling up and outsourcing more. Before I did way more myself. Now I outsource almost everything. To be honest, I haven't worked that much this week till today, simply because I was not in the mood. But income-wise, it didn't make a difference because it's all passive income. And yes, so sorry if it was sometimes a little bit of rush. You can add me in Instagram, Facebook, or write me an email. You see my website there too. It's German only. So if you want to learn German, that's where you can go. But if you have any further questions, you can ask this now in the comments, or if you just look it afterwards, just write me in a comment or a text in Instagram or Facebook.
Okay, so thank you so much, Jan. Thank you for correcting me how to pronounce your name. I do have a question though, as someone who's been taking so many notes from your talk. I know this is something that a lot of people really struggle with, is basically how do they choose their niche? Like you gave a really good example of a wedding photographer. What is how can someone get started on choosing a specific niche for them?
Usually I would go first, I would make a list. What am I good at and what do I like? So 2 lists, and look which points on both lists. So if you're good at it and you really like it, then those should be the first ones you should evaluate. And if nothing matches, or they're simply not suitable as a niche, then you can still check the list what you're really good at, or what you really like to do, although you're not good at it. But if you like to do it, it's probably easy to get really good at it if you just practice a little more. And you should definitely always have not yourself, but your ideal customer in mind. So it's always about who would buy your product, and you have to create a product for this person. Nothing that is just for you. It's something for somebody who wants to buy something for you. And this what you have to keep in mind, because my first product was a complete fail, because I thought what I was looking for to learn German has to be explained in English. No, big fail. People who want to learn grammar want to have it explained in German because they have a level already that they understand German, so they don't want it in English.
Mhm. That's very true. Like, keep in mind of who you're teaching, and not just because it's comfortable for you. So thank you so much. If you guys have any more questions for Jan, make sure to comment it below. Or if you had any favorite takeaways, I know I had a lot of really good takeaways. I like the 4 stages of passive income. That gives a really good picture for a lot of people who don't know the different steps. And I love that number 1 is careless. You are when you're a kid. You kind of do. I never thought of it that way. Like, yeah, I did get passive income when I was still a kid. I didn't have to work. I just went to school. So that's a really good point.
Definitely.
Okay.
So everybody had it already once in a while.
Yeah.
You just want to end your life with passive income too.
Yep. So you're right now in Mexico?
Yes, I'm in Mexico, Playa del Carmen, because the Philippines doesn't let me in again.
Oh, yeah. It's we still would love to have seen here be in the Philippines, but thank you so much for still being here, for being up for being a speaker. I know a lot of us were hoping that we would do Freedom Summit in person last May, but then this is still awesome. So thank you so much, Jan. And again, if you guys have any more questions, you can reach out to Jan on his social media. It's still flashed on there. You can also reach him through his websites, and his email address is also flashed on the screen below, so you guys can reach him. And if you guys want to learn from German to English or English to German, he has an amazing YouTube. He's one of the people that I sometimes stop because I like watching people who can teach me things. So thank you again, Jan, for an amazing talk. And I hope everyone if you guys have any amazing insights or questions for Jan, make sure to comment it below. Tag your friends if this is something that they should watch, and then tell them that go back to the start of the whole speech so you can watch the whole thing. So again, thank you, Jan, for sharing your insights, for being here even though you're not physically here in the Philippines, and again sharing your amazing expertise.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and hopefully see you soon in person.
Right? When you can come back here, we'll hopefully all meet up in Manila.
Yeah, I still hope for August, but I'm losing hope for August. Maybe September.
Fingers crossed. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.